The Marine Toys for Tots foster care program is bringing hope to children who need it most. Every 2 minutes, a child enters foster care, often with only a small bag of belongings. More than 400,000 children face trauma and uncertainty, many before age 8. This May, during Foster Care Awareness Month, Toys for Tots is creating Room for Joy. In 2025, nearly 375,000 children received comfort through toys, books, and essentials, reminding them they are not alone. Donate now and change a child's life.
I wound up in the middays, and I started doing it with my good buddy Sid Rosenberg.
Yeah. Oh, you guys must have had an absolute blast. You were with Sid when Sid was all over the place, man.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I
love Sid. I'm on his show a lot now.
I like Sid too. No,
yeah.
I'm good with Sid's cool. Sid's good. He's nuts. Yeah. He's good. I've known Sid a long time. I got only good things to say about Sid with my experience with Sid. Yep. But when you were working with Sid, I mean, you didn't know if he was showing up every day, right? Sid was at the lowest point, kind of, right?
In the beginning, he was fine. You know, Sid had his demons. There's no doubt about it. And I give him credit because it seems like he's conquered them all now. He's really doing a great job on ABC. I know. He really is.
He's killing it.
Like I said, I'm on with him a lot, which I appreciate him having me on. I mean, it actually happened twice. First, he left. I forget. I don't want to get into what all the details were, but
I got you.
He told me Sid's in rehab, and I did it alone for, I don't know, a number of months.
I don't even remember that. Okay.
Yeah. Sid comes back. And now we're together again, and I'll give you the story, and I'll never forget it. So it's opening day of the NFL season. I believe it was one of the years when the Jets did not make the playoffs under Herman Edwards. So I think it was it must have been 03.
I was going to say 2003. Yep.
And it was 2003.
05.
And it's opening day, and I'm getting ready to watch the Jets. I think they were playing the Chiefs that day or whatever. Mm. And Sid was supposed to be doing the giant pregame show, right? Up in the Meadowlands. Well, Sid doesn't show up. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And come to, they would, and again, I don't want to get into it all.
Weren't they in Atlantic City?
They were in Atlantic City. They were down there, and I guess Lep was down there too.
Yep.
And I guess Sid kind of went off the rails in Atlantic City. He kind of went back to, the kind of crap he was doing and all, and Sid would tell you,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I get a call from Lep. It's about 12:30. I'm getting ready for the Jet game, 1:00 Jet game, right? Opening day, September.
Oof.
I get a call from Lep. He goes, "It's over."
Between God and Danielle and other forces in my life and, quite frankly, my talent, here I am at the very, very top of our chain in this radio business. But that was my former partner, Joe Benigno, who's now on this show every week, who's not just a great talk show host, but a dear, loyal friend. And you heard that he was on with a guy named Brandon Tierney. I like Brandon, too, a lot. Brandon most recently did the midday show at WFAN with Sal Licata. Craig Carton came back. The Fan went to Evan and Tiki. So Brandon is doing his own podcast now, and it's very good. I recommend you guys check it out. It's called BT Unleashed, and Brandon's a real nice guy. And at one point, me, Brandon, and Benigno all had the same agent, Mark Lefselter. But what struck me when somebody sent me, Kevin Canessa, my boy Nessie, when Kevin Canessa sent me that audio yesterday, what struck me was how Benigno handled it. And what I mean by that is Brandon really wanted the gory details, which Bill O'Reilly got from me last week. It's one thing to get it from me, and I voluntarily did it and made for a great podcast, but you can tell my buddy Joe was uncomfortable. Didn't want to talk about it. And I thought that was really nice. I really did. That's what struck me was that Benigno was, listen, he's doing great now. I'm on his show all the time. The guy's at the top of the world, and I don't want to get into it. So I just want to tell you, Joseph, that I thought the way you handled that was really classy, showed your loyalty to me as a dear friend of almost 25 years, and I appreciated it. Thank you very much.
Bro, I love you, bro. You know that. Nothing but love. I really wish that, it didn't work out for all those years because we would have had a kicking show. I loved working with Evan. It was great. I always say if you and I would have stayed together, I would have been like the straight man to you, and that would have. Now you're really talking about something. You know what I mean? If I'm playing the straight man to you, so unfortunately didn't go down that way, but. We're all thrilled that you're kicking ass now, bro. God bless.
And you're part of this on this show every week, and you're still kicking ass. And, yeah, a lot of people really did think that Joe and Sid and Joe would be the next Mike and the Mad Dog. But, Joseph, as I'm getting older, And a lot of people that I love and respect, friends and people I know, are dying. They're dying. We lost John Sterling this week. The more I come to the realization, and I want to get too, philosophical and too cliche in this conversation, but the more I'm coming to the realization that God has a plan, and unfortunately it didn't work out well for us because we could have been great, and we were great. For 2 years we were great, but here we are 20-plus years later, still best of friends, and you're still killing it, and I'm doing well, and I guess this was God's plan, right?
I guess so.
Is God's plan to make sure that the Knickerbockers get back to the NBA Finals this year?
Boy, I tell you, man, I am excited for this team. I got a concern though, and I fully expect them. Look, right now they're clearly the best team in the Eastern Conference. There's no doubt about it. I do not fear the Detroit Pistons or the Cleveland Cavaliers. But what happened last night that scares me is OG Anunoby went down with an injury. Now I still don't know exactly what the deal is with him. I've heard, watching the post-game show, I've heard it might be a hamstring, something like that. But he's been unbelievable. I mean, he's the modern-day Dave DeBusschere for this team. I mean, he's been unbelievable, both ends of the floor. He had a big game again last night. And that concerns me, I have to say. It really does.
No, because you'll need him to get by Detroit. Oh, we should be Cleveland. I don't know. We'll see. The lines in those games are somewhere between 2 and 4. So Vegas seems to think that Cleveland will be competitive even on the road, although Detroit did win by double digits in Game 1. But they'll need him in that next round. And, you look at the job, for example, that RJ did for Toronto and that 7-game loss to Cleveland in round 1. And quickly, those guys are still very good players, but I think you'd agree that this turned out to be a great trade for the Knicks.
Look, Leon Rose has done a spectacular job. You never see the guy. He really took the Knicks out of the 20-year abyss that they were in, and he made every move he's made. I mean, the entire starting lineup, Sid, is not homegrown Knicks. I mean, he signs Jalen Brunson to a free agent contract. Turns out to be one of the great free agent contracts in the history of sports. Forget about just in New York. He makes the OG Anunoby trade, like you said, for Barrett and Quickly. He makes the Karl Anthony Towns trade and I love Dante DiVincenzo and Randall, and look how that's turning out. He steals Josh Hart from Portland. He makes the Mikal Bridges trade.
That's the one. See, that's the one. Yeah, that's the one. Stephen A. Smith
is. You know what, bro? Look how he's played the last.
He's played
games.
well.
I mean, he was huge again last night.
Yes.
How about the defense on Maxey that he played? Not to mention he scored 18 points and hit a monster basket with the Knicks up, clinging to a 4-point lead in the closing minutes of the game last night. A huge shot to put him up 6. You got to look at that. I mean, Leon Rose has done a magnificent job with this team.
No, he has, and I'm going to have Stephen A. Smith on this show in about an hour. He's a regular now. He likes to come on and talk politics, so he said, do me a favor. You had Christopher Mad Dog Russo on yesterday, which I did, and Doggy and I had a lot of fun talking about my new Yankees, but I said, I only want to talk politics when I come on with you. I enjoy doing that, like you do occasionally. I said, okay, fine, Steve, but we'll still talk about the Knicks. He hates the Bridges trade because of all the draft choices, but you're right. He's been great the last couple of games, and if OG turns out to be a little more seriously injured than we know at this point, then Mikal will even be more important. So you believe the Knickerbockers are on their way to the Eastern Conference Finals?
Oh, yeah. I think they're going to. Look, bro, if Anunoby's healthy, there's no reason they shouldn't win the championship. I mean, let's be real. I mean, this is a tremendous
There was a reason. There was a reason. It's called Oklahoma City.
Okay, but I mean, everybody goes nuts about. I don't know. Oklahoma City is tremendous. Okay, they're great. I don't know if they're the Bill Russell Celtics or the Michael Jordan Bulls. You know what I mean? I don't know about that. Or the Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar Lakers. I'm not sold on that yet. Okay, so I look at this starting 5 that the Knicks have right now. Okay, and you know me. I've been a Knicks fan since 1962. I saw Richie Guerin and Johnny Green play. People don't even know who these people are. Okay, all right. This is how far back I go, to the old garden. My father used to take me to the doubleheaders. That the NBA, believe it or not, NBA doubleheaders. You see the Lakers Celtics in Game 1, and then the Knicks playing whoever in the next game. So I go way, way back with this team. Okay, this is the best starting lineup I've seen the Knicks have since the championship teams. I mean, Patrick Ewing. And we love those teams, and they gave us a lot of aggravation, a lot of pain, too. But, they went to the finals a couple times. Patrick Ewing never had the starting lineup this team has now.
God, no. Not even close.
I mean it's
not even close.
bro.
Yeah, you had guys on those teams that you loved. You loved Charles Oakley. You loved Anthony Mason. And John Starks had his moments where he was a legitimate superstar, but he was not really a superstar. I mean, you could make the argument, as you said, got to the NBA Finals twice, losing in 94, of course, to the Rockets, and 99 to San Antonio, that Patrick Ewing never really played along one All-Star. Not one.
No. And this team is how many guys can kill you on this team, bro? I mean, you look at this team, you can get beaten a lot of different ways, and then you got to look at the bench too. I mean, they got a pretty good bench. You look at McBride, you look at Clarkson, obviously Mitchell Robinson. I thought it was funny last night. Mitch didn't play last night. To me, it was a bigger deal because Karl Anthony Towns, who gets no breaks from the officials at all, by the way, got in early foul trouble, and there's no Mitchell Robinson. And I thought Mitchell Robinson being out was a bigger deal last night than Embiid being out for Philadelphia, to be very honest about it.
How about that?
And, but you look at that, you look at the bench, Alvarado, these guys, they got a deep team and they got a good team. They could win the championship, Sid.
Wow.
And I keep saying this. And again, we need Anunoby healthy, but if they don't win that, what are they winning, Sid? You tell me, if they don't win a title this year, this team, when the hell are they winning?
That's a fair question. It's a fair question. And for folks that don't know, my dear friend Joe Benigno, for him to say my team can win a championship would almost be like Osama bin Laden going to a bar mitzvah. I swear to God. It's
right, or maybe Mandami going to a bar mitzvah.
Even worse, yes. You're right. Tell me about this Met team. Of course, I've switched allegiances. I was back at Yankee Stadium 2 nights ago. But look, the Mets have won 4 out of 5. They're playing much better baseball now. The teams they beat in that stretch are the L.A. Angels and the Colorado Rockies. The Rockies may be the worst team in baseball, but are you feeling like this Met team is starting to turn a corner or just beating bad competition?
Well, look, you know what I like, Sid? I don't know where they are. They're still 8 games under 500. I don't expect them to turn it around and make this big run to the playoffs by any means. But what I'm encouraged by is this kid Carson Bench, who all of a sudden is starting to hit. He got a couple big hits again last night. He hit a home run the other day. He's played outstanding defense. I'm really getting excited, watching him play. Vientos has started to hit a little bit. You got a big game from Marcus Semien last night. He went 4 for 4, hit a 2-run homer. Look, they got to be better than the way that they've played. I mean, do I expect this team to be a playoff team? I don't. Not at all. But, at least you like the way they're playing. Like you said, they've won 4 out of 5, 3 in a row now on this road trip. Remember Colorado killed them last week at Citi Field. They had that doubleheader. They scored 1 run in 2 games in the doubleheader.
Yeah.
So they're getting better, but I'm not getting crazy. But it's nice to see. I always love this, Sid, to see the homegrown guys getting it done, and I love what I see from Benj. And I don't know if Vientos is ever going to really become a top hitter for this team. I don't know. He's got his stretches of late, but I don't know about that. But at least it's nice to see them playing competitive baseball again.
60 seconds. You mentioned Semien, and of course, he came to the Mets via the trade for Brandon Nimmo. And ironically, the Yankees have been playing Texas the last 2 days, so Brandon Nimmo is back in the Bronx. And I think Steve Cohen's going to go see him if he hasn't been there already in the Bronx because he still loves him. But it's interesting that here's Nimmo back in town. And the Yankees, look, they're not going to win every game. They finally lost yesterday. I didn't like that matchup. Warren against Evaldi. Texas had the better pitching matchup today. Blackburn on the mound, still not one of the Yankee greats, but we are not far away at this point, not far away from the Yankees throwing out 4-game series. Cole, Fried, Schlittler, and Rondon. Who the hell's going to beat that team?
No, I think they're clearly the best team in the American League. I mean, what is there? What's in the American League right now beside the Yankees? I think they clearly are. There's no doubt about it. That rotation is going to be off the charts. These guys all are healthy. Look, I mean, and they bombed DeGrom the other night. They had a couple home runs. They had a couple bombs off of him. Look, you can't win every game, but they're clearly the best team in baseball, at least certainly in the American League. There's no question about it. It's funny. Everybody got on Brian Cashman. The Yankees didn't do anything. All they did was bring back Bellinger. Well, they didn't really have to do too much. You know what I mean, Sid?
It's true. They really did.
They got a hell of a team, man, the Yankees. I fully expect them. Look, you never know in the playoffs. Obviously, they're going to be in the playoffs. You never know in the playoffs. But I fully expect them to see them in the World Series. I do.
Totally agree. And there's how to get healthy. And even Chris Russo, who hates the Yankees.
He hates them.
Hates them, maybe even more than you, said on this show yesterday that he thinks if this Yankee team stays healthy, they can beat the Dodgers.
Yeah, why not? Look, I mean, the Dodgers are due, man. You know, they're going to win 3 in a row. I mean, I guess they could, but yeah, I give the Yankees a real shot to win it all. You know, I really do. And I hope they do, only so Aaron Judge can get that, off his back.
Yeah.
And finally, because he's one of the all-time great Yankees, one of the all-time great players.
Yeah.
But he needs that championship.
He does.
You know what I mean, Sid?
Yeah. He hits a home run every day. Another one yesterday, number 15. Yep. And he does need that championship, especially when you play for a Yankee team that's won 27. So on the way out, I want to thank you again. Your appearance on Brandon Tierney was great. I watched the whole thing. It was great. But the way you handled my situation was professional. It was loving. And I love you to pieces, Joe Benigno. I love the fact you're on this show every week. I love you more as a person. Thank you so much.
Sid, I love you. God bless you and the family. And as I said to Brandon, I really appreciate you giving me the opportunity to come on your great show. I really do.
You are great, too. Thank you so much. And my best to Terry, too. Your wife is so lovely. She's terrific, too. That's my dear friend Joe Benigno, Saturday mornings every week on WFAN. And now a weekly contributor. We're so proud to have him right here on Sid and Friends in the Morning.
Thanks for listening to Sid and Friends in the Morning. You can hear Sid and Friends in the Morning weekday mornings at 6. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?
77 WABC and Bergen Newbridge Medical Center honor the life of legendary broadcaster and our friend, Ernie Anastas.
Hi, it's Ernie Anastas. Your thoughts can affect how you feel. Bergen Newbridge Medical Center is the largest hospital in New Jersey, providing comprehensive, equitable, compassionate, and high-quality emergency inpatient and outpatient medical care, plus mental health services and substance use disorder treatment. The Bergen Newbridge team can address your total health needs in one convenient location. Call 201-225-7130 for an appointment or newbridgehealth.org.